like she own it. Looking like the world is your runway. She can set it off like a gunplay. Oh my, yeah. Talk of the city with that body. Always getting praised like it's Sunday. She said, baby, what you gonna do?
Hello, welcome back to Tribe Foolery, a podcast redefining sisterhood.
Yeah,
I'm Tom, and this is my tribe. Please introduce yourself.
Eddie,
Shakira,
and Amanda.
And today we're going to be focusing on women in friendships and our origin story. So we're focusing on. Candy's like, hold up, I did not sign up for that.
I did not.
So we're focusing on our origin story because in the last episode, I felt like we missed an opportunity or like a segueing point to share how we even know each other. Mm-hmm. I think during the last episode, you and I kind of touched on how we first began to even speak to each other, let alone like know each other. And I think that we missed the opportunity to tell the listeners and just kind of speak about how did this tribe even come to be. We just jumped in and was like, let's talk about the shits.
That's my
and we
friend.
never even got.
I mean, that's us.
Yeah, that's fair. That is us. But we never got to start with the beginning. Everything great has an origin story. So I'd like great. And we are great.
Avengers.
and I'm cool with this origin story as long as it's not craziness with me.
But it was crazy.
But friend,
But it was.
we
But it
already
was.
discussed that you're the gravitational pull.
No,
we'll
that
get to
is
that.
not. That is
We'll
not what
get
happened.
to
I would
Yeah.
agree with that.
Ma'am.
So can we share with the people how we know each other or how we met each other?
I can go first because
Go
I
ahead,
think I'm
Amanda.
the baby in all of this to you guys.
Yeah.
So I met everyone through Candacia.
No, we happen to all be at the same party of a mutual friend.
She
Phoenix.
lying,
No,
y'all. She lying.
I met Candy.
lying.
So it's funny because we met during a time of we were all trying to get our life together by working out. And we were going to this gym here in Houston. And it was some stuff that was going down. And the day I met Candy, we were doing
People were about to
suicides and all
catch their
kinds of crazy
issue.
stuff. And it was like, ooh. But then the next day, they was like, ooh, we closed. And we were like, And folks was about to catch their issue. And Candy was like, what is happening? Like, what's going on? Nobody knew what was going on. And we went to a new gym, and we just started working out together. And literally, we were laughing, talking mess about our trainer, to our trainer. And from there, we bonded.
Making
And then
somebody's
Candy
job
invited me
hard.
to New Orleans.
Yes, go.
And which is where I'm from. So she was like, "Oh, you want to go to New Orleans?" And I was like, "Yes, let's go," because it's the home city. Mind you, y'all, it was
goodness.
cold as balls in New Orleans that day. Like, I have never been so cold and freezing in New Orleans. Not never, but.
It was.
So we went to a ball for one of our other friends, or one of Candy's friends, because I still didn't know everybody. I just was tagging along because it was New
And
Orleans.
that's how you met Topi.
And then that's how I also met one of our other tribe members that's not here right now, Topi. And literally, the first thing Candy asked me, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you change out something for me? And I was like, change out.
What was that thing, Candy? What did
What was
you
the
want
thing,
her to
Candy?
change
What
out
did
for
you
you?
want me to change
I
out?
blame Topi, so she should be here today because it's her fault. Okay? Topi, I convinced Topi. So one day I had a dream to get my nipples pierced, and I got my damn nipple pierced.
She always try to bring her dreams.
Always
to
a dream.
fucking
It is
fruition.
like I
With
woke up
us.
and I was like, well, I had a dream. I'm going to get them done. Right. And so then I convinced Topi to do it. Right. And so when we went to New Orleans, it was close to my birthday. And Topi had bought me new nipple rings. We had wings on them. And so
And somebody could not get
I
the
couldn't
old
get
ones
the old
off.
ones off. And so I walked up to Amanda and I was like, can you help me get this off?
In my mind, I'm like,
Girl.
okay, that's titties, but all right, like, but wait, why?
like, these
why
are
am I
titties, these are
changing? I
not
was like, you know
mine.
what,
Okay.
fuck it. I was like, at this point, we sisters, because if I
Okay.
touch your titties to like change your nipple ring and then put it back and help you with all of that, we sisters, like we family,
we
like
family
ain't
now,
There's
okay.
no, and after that, that's literally how it's been. Like we have been through the gauntlet of trying to get back home and all of the craziness that went down in New Orleans, and we made it through. And it's like, you know, I always take the test of friendship when you travel when you
Yes.
move.
Yes.
Like major things. And it's like, if you could ride with that person through it, that's somebody that you know is going to be cool. And like, I remember there were points I was talking Candy down off the ledge. And then it was like, it was just, but it was easy. And Candy is a person that's very genuine. And I like to have genuine people around me. And it was like, oh,
We're not
I
gonna
like
do something
her.
to make
we
me
can
get
actually
emotional.
be
Going nowhere,
friends.
for real.
Yeah.
And it's like, then when I met you guys at
The mutual
at
friend
Phoenix-
party. Yeah, the mutual friend
Phoenix's-
party.
No, I didn't
meet you
I
at
didn't meet
Phoenix's party.
These two until Phoenix
At a party
Yeah,
that
that's the mutual friends party.
Candy was
Phoenix
throwing.
party.
Yeah.
Phoenix is the mutual friend.
No.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. She does think she's part of our tribe too.
Listen,
But,
don't
like,
tell Phoenix she ain't a part of this tribe.
baby, because she will get us together. No, I am your friend, and I will text you and tell you. But it's like, that's when I met these two, and it's like we all literally just clicked. It wasn't hard. It wasn't forced. It wasn't. I felt
Extra.
comfortable, like, and I could be me in it, and we all were just foolish. And it's like, oh, this is about to be hilarious.
Hating children's
We're
toes.
fucking-
And that's how
Problem.
that's how I joined the group as the baby of the group.
So I go,
Go ahead,
next.
Shakira.
I just want to point out that Wimberly will say that we met at Phoenix party too, but I know that I met Wimberly at Kendasha's house before that when they was both
birthday
working at
party.
the jail. But anyway, she'll say that we met at Phoenix party too, but no, we didn't. So I'll start with the first person I met. It was definitely Candy. So
I
Candy
like
has
these
this thing. She has rest. She
You did
she,
this.
She got
This
rest
is
and
your
bitch
fault.
face, but she ain't gonna. So she was working at an apartment complex. I was going to get my first apartment, and we both were living in Mississippi. I didn't know anybody, and I don't know. She just was the type of person that you can go to and talk to, and she either was listening or she was zoning out and pretending to listen.
My pretend ain't that good.
No,
It's
for yes,
not.
it is. You get that Sudoku on your phone,
Right. It is out.
But you'll know I'm not listening. That's why I said my pretending to listen is not that good.
But yeah, so after that, it was just like she's one of those friends that you can stop talking to for a while, but then come back and she's the same exact person. She gives you the same exact energy.
Y'all don't
And
make me
then-
cry in here today.
Not anymore,
And
because Candy
then-
will call us and be like, "So where you at?"
Candy will come to your door and boom, 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 knock on it.
Facts.
This woman messaged me the other day because I ain't talked to them in a couple of days and was like, how do I know it's you messaging me and not some kidnappers? You need to
kidnappers.
send me a photo or something. I sent her a photo. I did. It was me and right behind me my headboard because the only place I was in bed. And she was like, how do I know? It's not. The kidnappers are not just sending me a photo of you. I was like, girl.
And so, well, and then so I met Amanda and Wim. I met them at Phoenix's party, I guess. I swear I met Wim before that. But yeah, it's a vibe. When you meet somebody and you can be vulnerable, you can just basically tell your deepest secrets, get vomit of the diarrhea of the mouth, and
talk
know
about
that it's
diarrhea,
not
guys.
going to come back to you. You can go through stuff and have people show up for you, because that's the biggest thing for me, is showing up for me. If you show up for me, you'll always have my loyalty, and loyalty is the biggest thing to me. So
Yeah.
I swear, and this is the craziest thing ever, because I've never had anything like this, and that's why I call these ladies my tribe,
And
because
it's
they ain't getting rid of me.
no, and even the point that our families recognize it, like our
Yeah.
moms,
Yes.
our brothers, sisters, whatever significant others, they recognize it. They're like, man, y'all really are like
Y'all tight.
tight. Like the fact that you have the codes to my house and can walk in my house at any point in time, like that's trust. Because I'd be like, nah,
I don't like
ain't
people
there.
like that.
Just wait. But it's like having that kind of safety and security. Like my mom was telling me the other day, she was like, I really thank God for your friends, because I know I don't have to worry
Yeah.
because they're not here. And it's just like, and she's not there. And it's like, oh man, that's dope.
Yeah,
That's
we
dope.
good or
And then
whatever.
the sense of pride that kind of comes behind that, like knowing that the people that I believe love me the most can see me with my group of friends and say, I know that those people got your back. I know that they love you.
Facts.
I feel safe letting go because I know that you have people who are going to step behind you. I love that.
That's the same thing my brother says all the time. He's like, look, Billy, and he's like, I don't have, but people ask how you doing. He was like, oh, she got family out there. That's like, that's what she got. She got family. She's good. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not worried about her, if anything.
Like, even meeting your family when we did your dad's party, it was like, it wasn't awkward. Like, I'm in your daddy's house. This is my first time meeting your daddy. And he was like, well, baby, just go ahead on. They in the back. And I was like, oh, thank you. And your daddy don't talk a lot, but when he talk, he talk. And it's like,
that party was great.
It's so crazy how we show up for one another, like driving to Mississippi.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
What a drive.
Business. Like, or if something happens with Tope. Tope is in Mississippi. Hey, we'd be like, hey, what we going to Mississippi? What we doing?
Do we need to do a turnaround trip or a flight? What we doing?
Because I'll pull up real quick for that one.
I can't wait for y'all to meet
She
her.
be having me in the zone sometimes. Like, girl, don't have me act crazy out here.
That part.
But outside of that, I know that we have already kind of talked about how we met. We met working in a jail together. I thought that my first time meeting you was at that party.
No, it wasn't.
And I stand on that. Stand on that. Were we introduced to each other during the time that you recall us first meeting?
It was a quick
like,
introduction.
hey, kind of thing.
Because if we see
Hi.
But we met each other.
Oh, we conversed.
We met
Phoenix
each other
House. At
during
Phoenix
that party. Don't say Phoenix House, Lord, because then she really gonna think. And then I think my first time meeting both you and Tay. Tay is another person who is a part of our tribe. My first time meeting you and Tay was during Candy's birthday party. We went to the pub.
Yeah.
And it was karaoke night.
Vincent bartended. I turned 21 that night. I convinced everybody I turned 21 that night.
She told everybody she turned 21 that night.
That's because she looked 16.
Ooh,
No.
that was so...
That was great. That was a really good night. But I think the thing that kind of sticks out to me, first of all, you from New Orleans. I'm from New Orleans. So automatically I was like, oh, cool, we cousins. And then and then just kind of being around you and Tay and just seeing like that y'all were very chill. Also during this time, I was in school and working overnight. And so me and Candy were getting kind of close this time, but I kind of noticed that she started to actually go out with y'all and spend a little time with y'all. And I was like, good, maybe she has some people that she could spend time with during this time.
And she'll leave you
when
alone
my
a little
attention
bit.
is split, completely split. And I was like, okay, so this is really good. And then after I got to meet you, I was like, oh, okay, this is why, because they are hilarious. They
It was
are
so much foolery
completely
that night.
hilarious.
Jesus, that brought me back. That was karaoke. Oh,
Yes,
that was
it
karaoke.
was.
And
Is that the Krav
splits?
Maga night?
Yes.
Yes, with that,
Yes.
with
Candy
this
trying to
random
teach
group of young
people.
folk.
I wasn't like he asked for it.
He did.
Mind you, we
which
were drunk
was
as hell.
very
We were
weird.
drunk.
He
It
was
was
like,
weird.
yes, hurt me. I was like, are you serious? Are you serious right now?
Because you said it like it's a good thing.
He was
and
ready.
I'm really about to really hurt you in here. Like, that's what you felt
And
like.
we were
wanted
drunk.
it.
Oh my God, he wasn't ready.
not ready.
Wanted, man.
So now that we are all very familiar with each other, and I know for sure you're about to say something in this, are we different, or is anyone different from how you first imagined they would be when you first seen them or met them? Anything like that? Is anyone different from what you expected?
Yes, you.
I was expecting this part.
Yeah, because when I first met her, at the house when they was on their way out the door, not at Phoenix party, she very much had a face like, what do you want? Like,
Well, in her
Don't talk to
defense,
me.
because you claim, I don't remember this time, but if it's the time.
I don't remember this
Because
time
she said she
either.
came to watch the kids. The only time I ever asked her to watch the kids was when I was going to work. So, which
Yep.
means that we were headed into work, into the jail, and that look is a normal look to go to this fucking place. Like,
We ain't excited.
there's no excitement in it.
you got to put that mask on.
Yes.
They ain't even a mask. I'm exhausted and I don't
wanna
want to be here.
That's what it is.
And then I thought Candy was just a
Resting
very mean person at first.
That I don't understand.
You thought she was a mean person, but you went to talk to her?
She did it so first of all, she came to talk to me every day. But the fact that she tells me that I thought I was nice, right?
You
And
were
I
nice
thought
when you talked.
I thought she thought I was nice because that's the reason why she came to come talk to me every
No,
day.
I'm
But
used
the
to
fact that
talking
you
to
thought
people
I
that
was
look
mean,
mean.
I was like, that doesn't make sense to me.
First of all, I ain't know nobody. And then second of all,
But then what made you want to talk to me?
She said,
be-
"I'm gonna make
I
a
be
friend out of
liking-
you."
And my thing is, what if you
That's that
thought I was
Capricorn
mean?
energy.
I'm gonna make a friend out of you.
But I
I
don't
be
understand.
liking making people like me. Like when it look like people don't like me, I'll be like, watch me work.
Oh my
I
goodness.
dislike you.
Okay, challenge
But you know
accepted.
what? I didn't have that experience with Candy because I think we bonded over cussing out our trainer.
Yes,
And it
'cause
was
he was always
like,
So being
bullshit.
mean is how. Okay.
because we was like, sir, what do you want us to do? Do you want us to run? Do you want us to what?
Because
Spell it out.
he would do the most.
Spell it out.
He would do the most.
Running them damn
And
hills
Taya's not
and
allowed to
shit.
tell her origin story for me either.
Yeah.
Because I feel like
Why?
she ain't gonna tell it correctly.
Who?
Tay.
What's that story?
She claimed that I was
You was trying.
Oh, okay. You don't want to tell that story? Oh, okay.
Oh wait, so take it here, baby.
She said she
was
claimed
about
that I was
life.
on
That's all
the.
I'm saying.
because like no, because I don't like bullying. And Amanda wasn't there. And like Amanda was like out of Tay and Amanda was the first person that I actually conversed with. And I noticed that Tay and Amanda would talk. So Tay and Amanda was cool. So by default, you know, like I don't have to talk to you, but you're here by your Tay normally worked out like when she's quiet and focused. Like she would really talk or mingle like that. And a few times that I did see her talk, it was only to Amanda. And then they had a couple of girls there.
Oh, I wish I would have
And
been there.
they was just like saying some shit they had no business saying, like talking shit about Tay, like as if they want to pop off on something because Denzel would like go and talk to Tay, which is our trainer, but it was about the workout, like because she was like ready to move on. She because they were all like flirting and all of that stuff. She was like, all right, what's next, like type thing. And so he would like kind of like give her thing.
Tay does get like that.
Facts.
Because
And-
Tay is an athlete, and her focus is I'm here to work out.
Facts.
Yeah.
Like-
so he would give her thing ahead, like whatever she was doing, like let her go ahead and do this while they still bullshitting. And I ain't like that. So, and I knew she was cool in the band, so I was like, by default, like that shit ain't gonna ride with me. Like it's a couple of y'all, but it ain't gonna ride with me.
Facts.
So I was just like, I told her, I was like, hey, I don't know, because I didn't know like if there was any tension between them prior to me getting there.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't know what it is, but they are talking. But you good though.
Nah, they
I'm just
was
letting you
some-
know,
they
you
was
good.
some
Like
new
you ain't up here by
guys.
yourself.
Got you.
But
You are
but
not
that's how
you're
they
not here
were.
by yourself.
Because like Tay and well, I know she's not here, but Tay and I met at the gym as well. Like, but it's like what I appreciated as a bigger person. Sometimes when you're new to working out, you know, people always you feel the judgment and you feel the looks.
They
but
clicky?
like very clicky.
Yes.
And Tay was very like,
Come on, girl.
come on, Amanda, let's go. Come on, I'll run with you. And it was
Which
like,
is her.
Yes.
and
For
it was
the
so amazing. to have
Preppiest
that.
one for the athlete.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's like having that kind of just openness and like Tay and I would talk, like we would just be, you know, and it was really cool. And it was like, oh, okay, like I know you're younger than me, but you still have this spirit about you that's, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna be cool.
Right.
And that's literally how it started. And it's like when you told me about that day, I was pissed. I was like, when I saw them the next day, I'm like, don't
Giving
make
them
me-
the
don't make
stank
me-
face.
don't make
Y'all
me
know
bump
what
you.
the stank face is.
Because I felt like, because they've been in there plenty, like
Yeah.
we've been there working out. I had recently started working out in the evenings with them. So, and that's how, but when Amanda wasn't there, that's when I guess I felt like they tried it because they felt like she was there by
She was by
herself.
herself.
And I was like,
She not here by herself.
she here by herself. I don't do the bullying.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so to kind of bring it back around, I want to share with you guys some stuff that's going on currently in social media land.
Uh-oh.
So currently in social media land, don't look at her. I'm about to tell her what's happening.
That's disrespectful.
Okay, so currently in social media land, there's basically two sides of a conversation going on. One side of this conversation is that a lot of people are coming out and they're sharing that they don't have friends, that they don't know how to make friends, that it's just kind of maybe not a foreign concept, but right now it's just something that's not happening for them. And it's not necessarily a situation like I don't want friends. It's that I don't have any friends. The other side of that conversation that is happening currently is, I want to say women, or having this discourse about if you do not have friends, that's a red flag. If you're an adult person with no friends, is that a red flag? And so under this segment of will this start an argument, I kind of want to talk about if that's a red flag, and then also what are the negative connotations that we know about women in friendship in general?
I think personally, you have to. It says something about you as a person, and I'm sorry, and I know, and it could be good or bad, but it's like you have to have an outlet. You do. Like, you can't do this thing called life by yourself. As much as you might want to try, you can't. And if you have no friends, like nobody you can talk to me, that is a red flag, because it's like, okay, well, how are you in relationships with your significant other, or are you just destined to be alone walking this lonely road by yourself? But it's like, if you can't make friends, it's like, okay, well, what is that about? That makes me think like that. Like, it doesn't make me think negatively on that person, but it's like, okay, well, what is that about? Why can't you make friends?
Yeah.
Is it because of social media and we're so tied to the 30-second, 15-second that we don't know how to verbalize and reach out and be vulnerable and all of that? Like, it makes me want to just kind of dig into their past, even though I'm not a therapist. But, you still just want to be like, what is that? Why? Even just one person to, like, talk to, let that stuff out to. Like, you have to have somebody or something to be able to do that with.
Yeah.
I think that it can be looked at as a red flag, but then at the same time not, because at the end of the day, even us with friends, we do have flaws. Like, so that's like stating like my insecurity, like, because I think that when coming with not having friends, that there's some level of insecurity there, and all of us have levels of insecurity. So if that be the case, then that's red flags for everybody. I do think that it is something to be looked into, but I do think that, again, like you said, does social media play a part in that? Probably does, but I do know that I've come across a lot of fake people. A lot of fake people, and people that are not even just necessarily fake, people that really aren't for me. Like, you may be good for somebody else, but you aren't for me. And some people may not have the capacity to feel like I, especially with this day and age with social media, like to pay attention. Like, I don't care enough to put in the energy to get past all this fake, or the people that aren't for me to find that friend, or they're in a place to where they don't go out as much to even come across that person. Because look, I found y'all by chance. I found you at work. I found you at my job. I found you because I decided to go work at the gym. It's not that I actually went out to mingle for friends. So I found my genuine people in my space. And if their space isn't really out there dealing with people, can we blame them for not having friends? Because the little people that they may do come in contact with may not be good people for them. I'd rather you not have a friend with anybody than to pick somebody that ain't good for you, because that could send you in a downward spiral.
True. I can see that.
For me, it's a little different. I'm gonna get a little deep, y'all. But I've been on both sides. It wasn't that I 100% didn't have friends, but I kind of distanced myself from all of my friends, because in that moment I was going through, it was like maybe a few years after I had Davina. It was a couple of years after I had Davina, and I don't think I went out after her, except that spotlight karaoke time where we went out. But I distanced myself from everybody because I was in the deepest depression I had ever been in my life, in the sense of I didn't want anybody to see me. So going through life, I've always felt like nobody sees me. People see what I portray. People see my outer shell, but nobody really sees me. Well, my biggest fear was going out there and somebody would actually see me and see the pain I was dealing with and see what I was going through in the moment. So I was trying to keep my life to myself. I told absolutely nobody about what was going on in my relationship because I did not trust anybody because of being burnt by past relationships with other women. Yeah, with other women. So I didn't want to get burned again. And all it would take is that one negative comment in that space that I was in would have sent me over the edge.
That's understandable.
And I wasn't going to, I have 2 kids. Like, I don't have time to allow myself to be in a space where somebody could possibly push me over the edge.
Yeah.
And then the person that I would try to reach out to, somebody that I really thought I could reach out to and have them surround me with happiness and surround me with goodness, wasn't there. For whatever reason, they had an attitude about the situation that I was in. They saw the outside of what I was going through or dealing with, and thought, oh, her life must be perfectly fine. She doesn't need anybody. and made that assumption when in actuality I was going through hell in my relationship. Hell. And I've been on that side, but also I've been on the side of why doesn't that person have any friends? But it's not like a judgmental why doesn't that person have any friends? It's like concern, because you never know what someone is dealing with. You never know what someone is going through. It's instead of passing judgment, why not just be that leaning shoulder? Have a conversation with a random stranger. People talk to me all the time, and in my head I'd be like, I don't know this motherfucker.
Right.
But on the outside, you just have the conversation.
I would challenge that. I'm sorry to interrupt you. No, but I would challenge that with there is also a space in our culture, I would say right now, but maybe always has been, and then also with Drake, No New Friends, where it's an attitude about people. Like, I am in a state of pride about the fact that, no, I don't have friends. And there are a lot of women who, I hate women. I don't like women. I don't want to be friends with women.
I think that is a red flag. Like,
that attitude,
that type of attitude,
to me is absolutely a red flag.
Like, just saying like you don't have friends in general, generally speaking, I feel is different. But to say that I don't like women, which is I feel like that's teenage mentality. That's when you don't know any better. Like, because I remember growing up and having a lot of friends, like, or not necessarily friends, but I would hear a lot of young girls say, "Oh, I don't like I don't have any girlfriends because they're this or they're that," and
I'd be like, who hurt you?
Right. I'm just like,
okay,
because I feel like that's the same negative energy that you have for, like, because if some man did you wrong, well, I hate all men. If that be the case, like, that's the same thing. It's still toxic. It's still a stupid way of thinking. Sorry,
and
y'all.
It's sad. It's just sad. It does display a level of hurt or a huge level of distrust.
It glares it. It's like
maturity level as well. It definitely states your maturity level.
I would say just about kind of the space where the idea of being a red flag because you don't have friends. I think there is more to investigate into that. I think that there are a lot of reasons that people don't have friends. I think that being a mom means oftentimes I'm busy. I really don't have the additional time to spare. Some people don't want friends. I enjoy spending this personal time with myself. I'm going to play these video games, or I'm going to read these books. I can't read the book if my friend is here trying to talk to me. So I'm going to just chill. I think that there's several reasons why people don't have friends. But then also, I want to know what you guys think about this space where people are just like, I don't have friends and I don't know why. I would like friends, but it's just not something that's happening.
Pick me.
Go ahead, Shakira.
So it's that you saying like that person's mindset, right? Like, is I don't have friends.
Just their observation about
why.
what's happening in their life. I'm an adult. I don't have no friends. I'm not opposed to having friends. I just don't have any. I want that, maybe even.
They need to reflect. You got to reflect and think back. And until you can accept that, hey, it might be some traits that I have that other people are not going to like, because I had to come to that realization too. I'm very loud. I'm always smiling. Some people don't like people that smile all the time. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm just saying they're stupid if they don't.
I'm here for that. Listen, I'm going to shed this smile when I want to. You got to get comfortable with that.
Right.
I'm constantly
I'd rather somebody
smiling,
whether it's somebody with a boot in their mouth
That's
24/7.
frowning at me.
Like, you with that negative energy, come in. Nah. Okay, go ahead. Continue. I'm sorry.
But I don't know. It's just it's the traits that you have. They actually have an app now where you can find
like
friends.
a friend finder
Hell,
kind of
Bumble
thing.
has a friend section. Like,
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
It is.
I don't think that would work for me though.
You don't
want to find friends online?
No. She don't want to find nothing.
I mean, online is kind of where we are in this time.
It's weird.
Like, everything is online. So now friends is online.
It's so
And
weird.
then
And then when you find friends online, do you have that concept of, oh my gosh, now I found this friend online? What if they're not as genuine as they portrayed themselves online? Go ahead, Gary.
Okay, so prior to all of this, back in the day, we used to have chat rooms and stuff, and I actually have some really great friends that I've met online. In some cases, I've never met them, like, physically, but it's like we were talking to each other in a way where it's like, you are in California, and I'm gonna shout out my friend Bridget. She lives in California and I love her to death. And just to be able to talk to someone and talk through things, and like, no, we've never met, but that person is like really dear to me, and it's like when I see her with her kids and all of this stuff, it's just like we root for each other and we support each other. And I have another friend in Philly, Aisha, same thing. Like, we root and support each other, even though we've never. Well, I've met Aisha, but like, even though if we've never met, you can do that. But it's about being open, and realizing that friendships aren't this in a box kind of, this is how it should be. It can be varied, and appreciating that and sitting in that, like, oh, okay, well, shoot, this looks different. Like, but you're still a person that I would consider a friend because I can trust you and you can be vulnerable. And that also goes back to what your definition of friendship is. Let me preface that with anything, because my definition might be different from yours. But communicating that and saying like, okay, well, this is what I expect as a friendship, and then if we can do that, cool.
Yeah,
but I don't think we should limit
agreement.
It. So it's something that's always been around, but you know, now it's just more in the forefront because of today's society that we live in.
And I think too, asking that question is, I feel like there's more questions to ask around that. So if they're asking that question to try to, I guess, answer or give some type of insight or opinion, I guess, do they really not have friends is the question. Because I know at a time in my life when I really didn't think people was really my friend. So, but it was my own insecurities. It was my own things that I was going through. Shush your face. And it took a lot for me to trust people. And I didn't realize that some people were really my friend. Like, I thought, like, and I would brush people off, like one small thing would go left, and I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is the end of whatever this interaction is between us, and I'll move on. And then hindsight, realizing, especially coming into a space of healing, and facing those insecurities head on, and I guess I wouldn't say correcting, but moving past some of it that didn't make sense that I probably should have never had. I went back and realized, like, I've had some genuine friends in my life, and didn't know because I didn't know how to receive it. And I think that the question is, do you really not know that you have real friends, or don't have these things, or are you incapable of receiving a real friend? That's like with anything. Like, if you're not capable of receiving it, you won't know it's right there, even if it's right there in your face.
Yeah. I love that you kind of brought up this space of just basically having to learn some of that, figure out what it even was. So I think my question would be, is having friendships something that we just already know how to do, or is it something that we learn?
I think it's learned. Yeah,
I think it's learned in the sense of I learned what type of friend that person needs, and I learned.
When did you learn to be a friend? Where did you learn to be a friend?
Ooh, I was a horrible friend in high school, and in school, because I didn't know no better. I think then I was learning what I didn't want in a friend.
Yeah.
And so when I learned what I didn't want in a friend, I portrayed the things that I did want in a friend.
Right.
And when those things aren't reciprocated, like, I'm giving you this energy, I'm giving you 100% of this friendship, and you start giving me about 5%, 2%. No, it's time for me to. I need to distance myself. I know that I have goals, I have ambitions, and I'm not going to want to be around somebody who tries to pull you back, like, not encourage you, because you have people that'll try to push you towards your ambitions, and then you have people, are you sure you want to do that? No.
Hell yeah, I'm sure.
Encourage me.
Okay.
Right. Encourage me. I'm going to encourage you, even when I think it's a dumb idea, because I think even from your dumb ideas, you learn something from that experience.
You need it.
And it's something in that you have to learn. I'm also the friend that I'm not always going to be on your side. I don't want somebody always on my side.
Tell me about it.
I had to
stay on it,
baby. I had to learn how. First, it wasn't learning how to be a friend. It was learning what kind of friend that I wanted, and then exhibiting the traits that I want in a friend to others. So,
yeah. I think that for me, I've always had if I care about you, like friendship wise or whatever, I'm going to try to be 110% in. Like that's always been me. Like I'm gonna always be there to do for you, and so I think that never do for you, be there for you, whatever it is that you need, and so I think that never was an issue for me as far as when it came to me being a friend to someone.
You're a giver.
Yes, and so I think I didn't truly understand the meaning of friendship, I should say, because me being a friend was never a problem for me, like even at a young age, but learning friendship, I didn't learn it until adulthood because I didn't learn how to receive a friend and allow certain things. So, because I could always be like there, like doing
You
X, Y,
can
Z.
give, but it's learning to
Receive it, and that's
as well.
receiving like as well. That's receiving
You
in
heard
all
it.
aspects.
It's recorded.
It's recorded. We have it on camera and tape.
It's just
And don't edit this out.
Yes, we can edit it out, so it won't be evidence anymore. Because I realized, like I told you, like there's people in my life that were really there for me,
Yeah.
and I didn't receive that. I didn't, because I still had those insecurities in myself. Like, how could you really want to be there for me? Like,
And willing to be there for you.
right?
too.
So hush your face.
Can I step in? So you mentioned, Shakira, you mentioned, I don't want someone who's always on my side. And I just kind of want to say this because I think to some extent, outside of many other things, what I really admire and enjoy about the relationship between you two, Shakira and Candy, is just that y'all will, first of all, oh my God,
Baby,
they will
this
butt,
podcast
okay?
almost was not going to happen.
They will
Not my
butt.
fault.
However, it's such a love there where it's like, okay, yeah, we butted, and it may be this argument, or it may be this, you know what, I don't want to talk right now. But it always comes back to, let's have this conversation.
Yeah.
And I want to allow you to be who you need to be in this moment. Like, even if I'm wrong, okay, I'm wrong. However, it's not a lack of love because of it. And I think that's such a genuine space, especially when we talk about negative connotations with women and friendships, and just kind of how on edge a lot of us can be about it. Like, if things don't go the way in which I imagine them going, or if you challenging me, or if you disagree with me, or if you didn't pay for whatever this time, then it's a no-go. We're done immediately. I don't want to check back. I don't want to collect $200. It's over. But just kind of being able to say, you know what? We've put this thing to the flame. We've endured each other, even in difficult moments. I think it's something that shines like a light on friendship in general. It's hope you did difficult.
Keep it up here.
These two argue like sisters, okay?
Baby.
Sisters.
Baby.
For real. We talk about a podcast redefined or sisterhood.
Baby.
These are the sisters.
And it'd be uncomfortable. Me and Wim just be sitting in the thing like,
Look, be sliding
tell
out of focus.
these
Right.
These two had their little argument, and I called Candy not even the next day. I called her 2 days later. Candy said, "What? I already talked to Shakira." I said, "Well, I wasn't calling about that, but okay. I'm glad y'all talked." She said, "Because I just knew you was about to call and fuss at me." So, Amanda, how'd you learn how to be a friend?
it's funny. I'm very much like Candy in that I'm a giver. And like in high school and grade school, like I was always like, I could blend and be a chameleon and really hang with any group, like whether it was the emo folk, whether it was the black folk, whether it was the Indian folk, it didn't matter. Like, but I think part of that was based on my own insecurity of like, I want you to like me. And I want you to, you know, so I was like, I would morph and change and be like, okay, I can hang with this one because this is, I like this and I like Avril Lavigne and da da da, you know, like I could like, I would do that. And that was just, I feel like it was out of a survival tactic for me to be like, okay, well, you got to morph into this and do this in order for people to like you. Yeah. And it really wasn't until, like college that I really figured like, no, people like you because you're a great person and you don't have to do and you don't have to be. And like one of my oldest friends to this day is like, no, you just showed up for me in a way that I never would have expected anybody to show up for me. And it's like in that, she also pours back into me. And it's just like, I never had that. Like, I was always like, okay, here's the love. And, you know, my nickname in high school was Susie Sunshine. And even into like working and stuff, because that's all. Like, when you met me, I was like, yes, it's gonna be great, and da da da. And I never would show people the other side, and I never would show people what it looked like when, you know, I found out I had a brother.
Shit hit the fan.
And, you know, I ain't know about him till I was 25, and it was like, oh shit, like, what is that like? You know, and having people that could see that and watch me cry and like go through that with me was like, oh, this is what it's like. Oh, people really do pour back into you. Like, you don't have to be the constant vessel to the point where you feel like you're empty. Like, people can see you and see like, okay, girl, I love you, go sit down. Like, I've had that happen. Like, during Katrina, I'll never forget, like, one of my coworkers was like, and it cracks me up to this day, and Jen and I still talk, and she was like, we were running around the hotel, and she was like, girl, I need you to go lay down and go to sleep, because right now, no ma'am. And when I tell y'all I dropped and went to sleep, like, it's having those people that see you and that can tell you, and you allow them to tell you, like, hey, you're doing too much. I love you. Go sit down. And receiving it in a way that's not anger or like, oh, you just can't stand me, or disrespectful. It's
like a sneak diss kind of thing.
Right.
And just knowing that it's genuine, like they're looking out for you.
Yeah.
But I also had to heal that relationship with myself first. And like, once I healed that relationship with me, I was able to allow people to really come in. And like, I know, you know, folks be upset because I have like a whole bunch of different friend groups, but it's like they all serve different purposes in my life. And it's like, and I realize that now, because I thought everybody had to be on one playing field, and it's like, no, friends can exist in different levels, and it's okay. You know, y'all saw that at my kickback. And that still wasn't everybody.
My goodness. That was a lot of people in a space that I didn't think was as big as it was. But
You know,
That was a lot of
big.
people.
It was a lot of people. Mm-hmm. It was so many people, I had a panic attack.
which one are you talking about? The first one or the second one?
I'm talking about
The Airbnb one?
Yeah, the verbal spot.
It was a lot
Girl,
of folks.
I was like, okay,
And once
I'm going
again,
home,
I have people
y'all.
navigating to me, telling me their whole life story.
Going home.
That, you know, you
Oh,
did. That
yeah,
was-
they
that was one of those-
gravitated to you, but
It
you didn't
did.
bite. No, you didn't bite.
I
Was
can't
all
help
in
it.
there. Listen, and this girl right here, she my therapist. Talk to. I said, I don't want to talk.
This ain't it.
I'm not your therapist. I'm talking to other people.
This ain't
What's wrong
it.
with you?
But I enjoy it, and I've learned to be okay in it, to realize that, yeah, I do have different friend groups, and they are at different levels, because some people know me, like, you guys know me better than a lot.
Yeah.
And you guys can tell me, like, hey, sis,
That ain't it.
that ain't it. Go sit your black ass down. I know you want to do it, but and I have friends that don't know that about me. They're like,
Because sometimes people need to sit their ass down. Don't say nothing.
Why you gonna point at me?
Because you was about to come for me.
I wasn't coming. I was reaching.
I would say we're gonna come back around here.
Come on back.
Let them have their moment. I learned
Sit your
about
ass down.
Lord. I learned about friendship from my mom and her group of friends. So my mom was a younger mom, and so I grew up watching her and my aunt, or I call her my aunt, so I believe she my aunt. I don't care what nobody say. She probably ain't even related to her for real, but she related to me. I don't
that's
care
how
what
we
nobody
do though
say.
in the South. They
Okay,
you
we
related.
family. And my godmom. And so this trio here, okay, when I think of how we get into shenanigans, it throws me all the way back to being a child and watching them get into shenanigans, okay? And so I think that I probably didn't know the whole of what they were experiencing or what they were going through from the perspective that I was in at that time, but I definitely know that I seen them be there for each other. I seen them come together to work together when it was time to put together a party, or when it was time to just support one another if things was getting rough. If it was time to help one of these children study, me being child and not trying to study. But I seen them have their tribe. And so when I come into this, it reminds me of that, and it makes it feel like this natural thing for me, like a natural thing that is supposed to maybe happen. And so I just kind of love that I even got to see that. And when I pull all of that together, I think of y'all children, and I think about how they think of us and how they see us when we're all together, regardless of the mess that they will talk about us. Just them seeing us together and seeing us come together and love on each other and
love on them.
show up for each other and love on them. I think, because, I mean, these are people who are friends to my mom, but they're still very much a part and family to me today. And so just kind of having
like
that space is so beautiful to me. And so I just kind of want to get into a space where we can wrap this up a little bit. And before we get directly into that, I want to wrap this up by saying what we appreciate about this. But before we get into that, I want to look at what is hard about having friendship to you at this point in your life, and in this space in your life where you have a friendship that you're finding valuable.
Time.
Ooh, that was fast.
Time. Because
Very
you want to
fast.
give that time. Like, I want to be able to dedicate that time to you guys. And, like, I know I have a lot of stuff going on.
Okay,
like,
Amanda be busy.
I be
Amanda
booked
be
and busy.
Yep, she
Going.
sure do.
And I be missing stuff.
Going.
And it's like, but I feel there's a part of me though that feels really guilty because I feel like I miss out on moments. I can't with y'all. I can't. But I do. I feel like I miss out on moments that sometimes are really poignant, and it's like I get caught up later, and it sucks because I'm like, damn, I wish I could have been there, or damn, I can't split myself to like do it, and that's the part that does suck. And I wish I had like a thing to clothe myself.
Wait, I got another one. Time and distance.
Oh my gosh.
Mother luck.
Are we gonna do
live
this?
far.
Are we really gonna
Because
do
nobody
this?
told y'all to stay in the
Listen.
boondocks. So you
Okay,
can't blame
Shakira
us. 'Cause y'all
actually
over there.
convinced me to move to Rocher.
Did you?
Yes, she did.
Wow.
When I was
Because she
like,
didn't want to be over there in the boonies by herself. I wasn't coming over there.
I love it though.
Goodbye.
I love having Shakira 5
Listen.
minutes away. It's so nice.
We
Yeah, I'm sure
live
that is
in
nice. That's
a
still
very,
fun.
very, very big city.
Facts.
So we ain't gonna live next to each other.
That part.
But you ain't gotta live all the way in Katy.
That's why y'all got designated
Y'all
nap
don't need to be talking
spots
about where
at
y'all
y'all
stay
house.
at on this thing.
Oh,
Y'all know
shit.
they be.
Okay.
Girl.
Y'all got designated.
And where you live.
Oh, I did say Rocher.
And then you're standing
Amanda.
Oh fuck. My bad.
designated nap spots at every
Beep it out.
house
Just be like,
that I go to that's far away. Know that I'm gonna take a nap before I get back
True.
on that road.
That's perfect.
Oh, we
You
got
already
carpool.
know that's okay.
You don't even have to leave.
First of
Oh, we
all,
got carpool.
while you're trying to be funny, you don't really want to do that because Katie will be like, "Oh, we're having a sleepover."
I was like, because I'm cool with that too.
That
like,
part.
I don't care.
Of course she is.
I am.
The party planner.
Okay.
Baby.
What do you find difficult about friendships at this time?
I guess I could say time is definitely one of them.
I think we
But
can
I
all
would
agree
make,
to
but
time.
yeah, but I definitely would try to go out of my way to make time. Especially I'm random, so
As fuck.
I'll pop up and be like, I think we all should get together in like
Let's go
in
to
like 30
crawfish.
minutes. Like let's do that right now. But you know that's just how my brain be working sometimes.
And then the worst part is you'll be like, yeah, let's do this. And then she'll be like, why did I say that?
Yeah. Because this side of the brain be want to do it, and this would be like, girl, we don't want to do that.
But here we are.
Right.
Together.
Literally sitting here on this podcast. Here we are. Go.
I think the hardest part about the friendship is growth. And that's growth in every aspect, whether it be vulnerability, whether it be growth, like just, you know, how we all on our different journeys. And I talked to you the other day, sometimes when you're in a space, like when you come to that space of clarity of certain things, you want to bring everyone that you care about with you, and they have to take their own journey.
Yeah.
And I think for me, because I always want to be the one to protect, help, superhero type shit.
on record.
I feel like if I'm excelling at something, we all need to be here. Like let's get up here. We all can do this. If I figure out how to do this, we all
Sure
can do this.
do.
And I think so the hardest part for me is learning to let go, even as a friend, like letting go and allowing everyone to still take their own journey and have their own growth outside of it. Us. and do it like
She gonna bring me to tears. I
Girl.
love to hear you say it. I
Girl.
do. I really do.
Record her when she said it.
Okay, it's on record. So I would say the hardest thing about friendship, of course, is time. We are adults and life is lifing and
Is a
it's
motherfucker.
busy and it's messy
And it's hard.
and it's very, very hard.
It's
and
hard.
so making this time
Hard how?
is just wow. Making this time is crazy. I would say as adults and having a friendship and really being in that, I think communicating in earnest what it is you feel and maybe what rubs you the wrong way or what is difficult moments, communicating in difficult moments is probably one of the most difficult things from my perspective. I think I spoke earlier about just kind of how people will take something and immediately say, oh, well, we're shutting this down. This is no longer a thing.
Yeah.
We're not friends no more. So being able to take that moment and say, you know what, let me see if I can
Communicate.
and I guess even being courageous because it's not easy to say, listen, I think that I don't get enough time with you or whatever. Kind of putting yourself out there for a lot of us just feels embarrassing. And so being able to communicate, as we said when we was talking about other things, communicate. I think the same thing in
This
friendship.
would be like,
I
At
need
your
my
door.
time.
I'm at your house.
Like, you gonna give
Let's
me my
talk
time.
about it. Let's go do something.
let's go to Target and not tell Shakira.
That was her. That
I
was
ain't
not
gonna lie
me.
though. I'd be like, well, you gonna come to my house and have tea? Like,
And not tell Shakira and Candy.
Oh
Right.
my
I really don't like that
Twice.
shit.
That was done
leave
twice.
it, leaving us out high and dry.
The
Man, the
apartment
years
and the
ago.
house.
it was when I was
It
in the
was
apartment.
years ago. First of all, I think
wasn't in the
Candy.
house. And the house.
I wasn't
I'm
in
not
the-
sure, but I think Candy brought me to your house when I stayed over at your house and had tea. And I stayed over there for like a whole weekend.
Yeah. She was like, I need a moment.
I said, I can't be up in here with all these men where I live. I need to go.
You went, baby father. You and my baby father
Lordy.
went to Amanda's house.
Yeah.
And then me
We
and
had a
Candy
session.
called y'all and was like, Amanda, we coming to your house of something like
Oh,
that.
Yeah. And I was
then-
like, I'm already over here.
like, wait.
Me
didn't
and
tell
you
us
was
shit.
here.
Didn't tell us nothing. Y'all was over there having shenanigans without us. Be feeling left
I
out.
think that's the beauty of being
I think we were just
more
watching
than
Ali
just
Sadiq.
one and two. Yeah, true that.
I definitely
just
want to
watching
say
all
that
these
you guys, I think that all of us do that though. Like we show
Yeah.
up for each other. Like I was in a very, very dark space. This would pops up. This would pop up quickly. Or they pop up at my door. What did they go when I'm sick? Homemade soup.
Oh my goodness. When you sick, you come into the door, thing in hand, and I'm like,
I'm just saying,
I was
'cause I
like,
didn't
I told your
know.
baby father, I said, listen, don't even come to the door with me because she likely
Baby.
to come out with it.
Baby.
Girl is very, very sick at this time. My girl dragged herself up to the door like a zombie, dragging herself with it in her. I said, don't shoot me.
COVID down.
Listen,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to check on you, okay? I'm just trying to check on you. But very, very quickly so that we can kind of wrap this thing up and basically, given what the tribe says, what is the best thing about having this friendship? One thing.
My vulnerability. Being able to be who I am in this space and not be judged. Be able to go through shit, deal with shit, not be judged. The tribe says, find somebody, find your tribe, find your
the
people.
Yeah.
And you're going to find them in unconventional ways. As I said, Candy is called the gravitational pull because she all pulled us in, even though she'll blame it on Phoenix, a.k.a. her daughter. So obviously, it was her.
What you got, Amanda?
I was about to make a penis joke, and I was like, you
I
know
mean,
what?
I'm always down for
We
penis
can't end an
jokes.
I'm gonna
episode
let it go.
without a penis
I know. I'm
joke.
going to let it go because. But for me, I think.
I'm sorry. Is it gravitational pull and penis joke? Are you pulling those together somehow? Oh, okay. I don't even want to know it. Okay.
I was just. Okay, anywho, for me, I think, what was the question again? Shit, I done forgot.
What is the
Right.
best thing
The best thing
about
this
having a good friendship or this tribe?
I like the differences. I like that everyone isn't the same.
Yes, come
I
on,
love
not
that.
a monolith.
I love that we're all unique and individual in our ways, and I like hanging with you guys separately and together.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think that's important too, because sometimes it's like it can't be the whole tribe. Like, I know y'all be, I know, but sometimes it's
Listen.
like
A lot of times it can't be all of us.
it can't
We
be the
trying
whole
to figure
tribe.
it
But
out.
it's nice that we can
be
hang out
having the time
individually or laugh
together.
about shit. Like before this podcast, me and Candy was sitting on the phone like, oh, we gotta go. Like, 'cause we were about to get real comfortable talking about
Got
some
real
stuff.
about to get. We got real
got
comfortable.
comfortable.
I was sitting on the sofa with my team, my team feet kicked up, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Like, we gotta go. And it's like, but I appreciate that because we can all be unique and then still enjoy each other separately, but also enjoy each other as a tribe.
I think
For
it
sure.
gives us something to bring back to everybody too, like just more to share.
Yeah.
What you got?
I would definitely say that
Being able to
mirrors is
receive.
strength. That like mirrors is strength because I'm so used to always being the strong one, even with everyone that I've always been around. I have younger cousins that I didn't realize as much what I was doing until one, I told you, actually brought it to my attention. Always been trying to be a protector since day one, which means that I was always trying to be the strong one for everyone, and that meant physically and mentally and emotionally. And having a good friend tribe allows you to not worry about that, like you can be soft in who other parts of your ass, like who you are, and then the mirror, we mirror each other like constantly, like we will shine it back on you, like whether it be good things or bad things, we're gonna shine that shit back on you to fix, like force each other to grow.
Yeah,
I think that's the greatest thing because no one should stay stagnant.
absolutely. I would just say in general, very generally, the love and knowing that there's spaces that I can rely on. Having the love is amazing. And I experienced that from our whole tribe in different ways. And I admire it, and it just makes me admire y'all so much.
Don't make us.
And so I'm grateful for the people that you are. And I'm grateful just to say that I know that I can rely on you. And then I'm grateful for the love that y'all share with me and for the love that y'all share with the people who love me as well. I think all of that is amazing. And
I love y'all.
Because your
I
people
love y'all
know,
too.
like when your people come into town, whether it's Bubba, whether it's it don't matter.
My dukes, whoever
It's like, but that's for all of us. Like it don't matter, and we gonna love on just like their family too.
Yeah,
Or not even
absolutely.
just like they are family too, and they're a part of the tribe. They don't realize they are, but they're definitely a part of the tribe too, and it's really dope.
So I'm going to leave it with Manda to go ahead and kick us out. Cut love. Cut us out, love.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening, watching us and our tribe Foolery on today. We want to thank you for subscribing, liking, sharing, following us on social media at Tribe Foolery on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all of the things, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you hear that. Come on in with the tribe. We look forward to seeing y'all on tomorrow's episode, or not tomorrow, Lord, next month.
Next week.
However the hell
Next
it's about
week's
to be. I don't
episode.
know. I'm confused.
We look
But
forward
y'all have a wonderful day,
to
and
seeing
thank
you
y'all
soon.
again.
I hope y'all were
She said she need me like heartbeat. Drive me